Hey folks, welcome back. My name is Rob Daniels, and I host a movie, TV, and video game soundtrack program called Visions in Sound on 98.5 CKWR. I can also be found on my website, visionsinsound.ca, so you can find me there. So what I've been doing over the last little while, and this will be week number 3, to celebrate the 25th anniversary of my show, which is coming up on June 7th next year, I decided that I would listen or present some off the beaten path scores, some that I think you should listen to, and others just because I like them. So this week, and week number 3, which should show up about here, is my choice, probably one of my favorite television series in a roundabout sort of way, and I'll get to that in a bit. Babylon 5. And I'll just simply say this: I was there at the dawn of the third age of mankind, and my very poor imitation of Londo Mollari. But if you're familiar with the series, I was there, and it may not have necessarily been. Oh, I'm being joined. Well, come on over. Come on. Here's my buddy. This is Gimli. He is the show cat, been around for 17 of the almost 25 years of the show. Love you, buddy. So why don't you just either get up on my shoulder, and we'll talk some more in just a bit, or do you want to talk about Babylon 5? You have much to say about that? I know, it was a good series. So why don't you just get up there and relax? Anyway, Babylon 5 ran from, I believe, 1993 to 98. Pilot episode The Gathering came out in 92, I believe. You're right on that, Gimli. 92 or 93. Anyway, the series itself, I watched television, at least at the time, in a very strange way. I did this with Next Generation. I did this with Deep Space Nine. I did this with actually the more recent Battlestar Galactica. I watched the pilot episode. Yeah, lie down. So I watched the pilot episode and maybe an episode or two of the first season, and then I get kind of disillusioned and bored and move on to something else. And then somebody will say, oh, did you see the end of season 1, or did you see the end of season 2? And I'm like, no, I didn't. But so I go back and end up finding out things. X-Files was the same way with me anyway. So I go back and I find out what's it all about, and then I suddenly become to love the series. So that was similar to what happened with Babylon 5. The problem with Babylon 5 was, yeah, I know it, because it had a particular structure to it that if you missed an episode, you would oftentimes kind of be lost in the dark. So, but what happened with that is that a friend of mine, Adam Boissonneau, I went to his place on vacation for a week and ended up watching, I think it was like a series of 5 episodes. And after that, I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked. And so in a roundabout sort of way, I think it was like season 3 or something like that. It was a series of episodes that were kind of pivotal. And when we reached the end of the episode, the last episode, I was like, is there any more? And he goes, no, you have to wait till next week. So yeah, that was the whole deal with that. In any case, I'm going to be speaking specifically. Okay, the Babylon 5 music was released in a very unusual way. It was released, there was a volume 1, there was a volume 2, and then something happened. I don't know what. And then somebody at Sonic Images got the brilliant idea of releasing soundtracks by episode. That was cool. Now, it wasn't every episode from season 1 right through to the end, but there were enough there that it grabbed you. It did some really neat stuff. So the one I'm going to be choosing today is the episode soundtrack to And the Rock Cried Out No Hiding Place. This to me was a pivotal episode. It may not be a pivotal episode to other people, but for me it was. Because, and it was for an unusual way that it came forward. The idea was that at the time, I was looking into all different types of kind of garnering a style of editing and shooting and stuff like that. And for me, it was to see how this episode turned out was pretty cool. I won't ruin it. I'll keep to very minimal spoilers on this because there are moments in it where it could spoil the rest of some of the surprises in the series. So I'll leave it at that. But if you're going to take revenge on somebody, this is the way to do it. There are some really great lines. There are some really great moments in this episode. And for me, it showed the power of editing and the power of juxtaposition. In this case, and if you know what I'm talking about, there is a scene where Londo faces a character that has wronged him in the past. And it is revealed that this character has done some very bad things to the Narns. So, he confronts him via a hologram in a secluded place. At the meantime, on the station, Babylon 5 station, there is a church service of sorts going on. And they reach a point where, and again, I think it's brilliantly edited. They reach a point where there is a gospel song that is playing while this character is attempting to escape. The lyrics go, "No hiding place down here, no hiding place. I went to the rock to hide my face, and the rock cried out, no hiding place. There's no hiding place down here." I saw this, and I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it. It's weird. But in any case, I watched the episode, and for me, that was a pivotal moment because I watched how juxtaposition was important. And from that time on, it kind of affected my style of editing. So what I did is I went on a search for the soundtrack. And I'll tell you this, the soundtrack, the episodic soundtracks, and there were quite a few of them, I didn't realize there were as many as there were elusive in those early days of the internet. This would have been about maybe mid to late 90s. And the thing is that when you looked for this stuff, the websites were sketchy at best. So you weren't sure if you were ever going to get it. Now, of course, I did receive my copy of this, but at the time, I think it was actually on the Sonic Images website, which was the name of the label, that The Rock Cried Out, No Hiding Place was only released as a bonus disc through some offer, and I can't remember what it was. And that they had no more on the Sonic Images website, which was unfortunate. So in those early days of searching, I found a vague reference to a copy on a British website. So I ordered it from there, not knowing if I would ever see it. I'll tell you this much, for a couple of weeks, it was rather nerve-wracking to go to the mail and see if it was going to be there. So when it finally arrived, awesome. Now, Christopher Franke's music is of particular note here. it goes through its standard. It builds some great tension. There is some wonderful, wonderful tension that's built in the episode. And I don't know if you can see this, but I'll maybe put up a track listing here. But it goes through the entire episode, and it's only 28 minutes. And like I said, whoever thought of this is brilliant, because at the time, soundtracks weren't released this way, at least in my experience. So to see a episode soundtrack specifically released was really cool. So yeah, the episode music itself is wonderful. It sits in the background, but it also creates a lot of tension, because this is a really tense episode. There are some pretty tense moments in it, and I don't want to ruin it for those that haven't seen it. So Chris Franke's music really does its job here, especially when it comes up to the scene in question. When I talk about it, when it goes to the No Hiding Place, which I actually found out the gospel song is based somewhat on a Nina Simone song that came out, more of a traditional gospel song called Sinner Man. And if you've seen the more recent Thomas Crown affair, the 1999, more recent. Here I am talking about 1999 as being more recent. In any case, you'll have heard that song, and it's showed up in a couple of other places as well. So there's all that. Now, with all that in mind, the music that goes in and out of the particular episode, or the particular section of the episode, is fantastic. And again, there is some really interesting reveals, and there's a great reveal at the end where the music just has this triumphant feel to it. It really works well. It's my favorite episode of the series, but again, not for what you would think. The episode itself is, in my opinion, it's a pivotal moment in the series. But that's just for me. There are better episodes of the series that do a lot more with the lore. But in this case, I honestly do believe that this is the episode for me that is my favorite of all time. So, the music here by Christopher Franke is really good. It really covers the episode well, has a great ending. Now, there's only one complaint that I have, and this is probably done because there was something to do with the rights or something like that. The episode actually ends differently. The music that's on the end of the episode is actually different from the music that was on the disc. This may have been a decision by the editors at the time before this, but anyway, in any case. So the music's different, and what it is a alternative version of No Hiding Place. And to me, it works better at the end. The music that is on there is, of course, your standard ending music that was standard for every episode, but it misses I think if this was ever to be remastered, which I hope somebody out there will do one day, I'm going to be interested to see if it happens. In any case, so with all that in mind, pick it up if you can find it. If you can find these out in the wild, by all means, pick them up. They are definitely worth it. And despite how it looks, the CD is actually not cut this way. It's actually a full disc. This was done for good reasons. We'll just say on that one. So in any case, if you are interested, the show is Visions in Sound. I'm on 2 to 4. I haven't been on 2 to 4 for a long time. 12 to 2 a.m. every Saturday morning on 98.5 CKWR. That's Eastern Time, by the way. And you can also find me on my website, visionsandsound.ca. I am on the Twitter @VisionsSound. I can also be found on Good Pods. a downloadable app for your phone or other type device, and that can also be found on many other podcatchers, including the likes of Apple Music. So yeah, that's week 3. Hopefully you'll be sticking with me on this journey to 25 years of Visions in Sound. With that in mind, we live for the one, we die for the one. Talk to you later. Bye for now.